Oh, hello there. Just gone 3 o'clock and I've got about 2 hours of light left and I've got to go find somewhere to camp. But I have brought my trusty mountain bike along and I'm hoping that's going to shorten the fire trail quite a lot. So I've got about a 10k ride and then I'm going to walk in for a few kilometres. I've got my tarp with me today, so just doing a bit of a tarp camp. It's going to be a quick overnighter. Oh, I'm so unfit, guys. Struggle town. Well, I've finished the ride. It's just gone 4:30, so it took me just a little over an hour. I've just stashed the bike on the side of the road in the bush. I've used this big termite mound as a bit of a reference. And on the other side I've got a rock outcrop, so it should be fairly easy for me to find. So I've now got to hightail it down the track a little bit, and then I'm going to jump off and find myself a nice spot to camp. So yeah, I've only got about maybe 40 minutes of light left, so I got to keep going. Oh, it's good to be walking again. That bike ride certainly wore me out. It's been a long time since I've ridden a bike, and yeah, 10k's with let's be honest, minimal fitness. That's tough. But I'm just entering a place known as the Vines. It's a small stand of temperate rainforest, and it is spectacular. But yeah, I've probably got another couple of k's to walk. But if I see a good spot, then I might just pull up stumps and camp. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Nice to be out again. It's been a long time since I've done, you know, 3 camps and 3 trips in the space of 6-8 weeks. So yeah, it's really nice. It's good to be back, and yeah, thanks for coming along with me. Jeez, it's strange how dark it is in here already. It's almost like it's night time. The camera's doing actually a much better job of filtering out the dark, as it were. Yeah, look at this. This is quite rare to have these little stands of rainforest. There's not a lot of it here. There's only a small patch, and most of the forest around here is a bit drier. Just as quickly as that little pocket came, it's gone. We're out of the rainforest, back into the dry sclerophyll forest. Well, it's now almost completely dark. You can still see a bit of light in the top of the trees, but down here in the valley it's pretty dark. I was going to try and get into a little creek and follow that along, but it's too dark now, so I'm going to grab some water here and then climb up this little ridge, and then there should be some flat ground around there, and I'll try and scratch out a camp there. Yeah, it's pretty dry here actually. I was actually getting really worried that there wasn't going to be much water here, and I'd have to keep going for another few kilometres to a different water source. I've got about 2.5 litres with me, but I'd like to have more than that. So, but I am quite relieved because I have found in this creek here, just increase the light. Yeah, there's some good water there. Alright guys, I've just moved upstream a bit. It was water back there wasn't looking the best. Jeez, it's about as dry as I've seen it through here. It's pretty amazing. So I've just got this 3 litre Camelback. It's a military spec one, so it's quite tough. I've already got about 1.5 litres of water in there, so I'm just gonna. This water looks pretty good. Oh, look at this bloody hill here. It's now completely dark, and this little ridge is burning my legs. Well, hey guys, so I found camp. I was actually getting a bit, so there's a little trail, maybe 50 metres up that way, which I've been following in through the forest. And I've sort of come off a few times looking for a clearing or, a place to camp, and it hasn't been real good. So there's been a lot of vegetation or sticks or things on the ground, which would have required a lot of work. And then having a look up in the trees, you sometimes get some dead branches up there. So, but anyway, I was just about to head to a spot that I knew that is a established camp. It's probably, I don't know, 15-20 minutes away. But yeah, I just stumbled across this place, and I'm really happy with it. So I got a couple of trees, thin trees here or there, so I can string my tarp up. Got nice flat ground. There's no vegetation. There's a lot of firewood around. I've cleared out a space here already for a fire. So I think what I'm going to do first is get the fire going, just so I've got a bit of extra light. You can see I've cleared about 2 meters around it. I might clear a bit more before I start, but yeah, look, pretty happy with this. This is exactly the sort of place I was after. Flat ground, not too much, bit of open space, so I'm not claustrophobic or anything. But it's kind of late. Well, not late, but I'm tired. I've got a fair bit of work to do still. So anyway, just going to break one of these things open. So again, that's just a makeup remover pad. It's like cotton wool, dipped in a bit of wax, and that takes a spark fairly easily. There we go. Alright, that should keep going, give me a bit of light while I start setting up. So guys, looks like I've got to be careful. There's I was just picking up my paracord to set up the ridgeline, and got a little tiger leash here, so I'm going to go dispose of him. But yeah, so I'm going to be careful. I guess it's a forest, and these little guys are out and about. Well, that's the first stage done. I've got my ridgeline tied up. I know it's hard to see. It is what it is at night time. I've just called up the end of the paracord. It's just 3mm paracord, nice yellow colour, so it's easy to see out here. I really need to get better at knots. I haven't done anything special here, just a double overhand I think it is. So I've got my tarp all set up. Let's see if I can, there we go, better lighting. So I've got it pretty low, but I think it'll be fine. I've got my sleeping pad set up in here. I have got a like a picnic blanket. I normally have a bit of rolled up foam, which I just totally forgot to pack. So I just had a picnic blanket in the back of the car, so I chucked that in. So I'll whack that underneath the sleeping mat later on. I'll also sit on it around the fire, and that will just keep a bit of the cold out. It is it's starting to cool down quite a lot. I can sit up in here easily, so it's probably much more spacious than a tent. I'm only just starting to dabble in the tarp camping. I have got my water filter working. This is just a Sawyer Mini. It's been dry for a while, so the flow rate's not great, but I've got it hooked up to my camelback bladder, and I'm just using it as a bit of a gravity filter. So for me, this is what it's about. I've got a nice modus operandi Sonic Prayer IPA. I've had this before. It's pretty good. To be honest, it was, this is probably a little bit of an ambitious, quick overnighter. So what I'm trying to do basically is leave in the afternoon and then kind of get back by the following sort of late morning, and that way it's less than a sort of 24-hour turnaround. You know, I'm busy, I've got a lot of things on at the moment, so I try and make the most of whatever time I have to get away. But I think this is probably just that little bit ambitious. If I had managed to leave an hour earlier, I think it would have been fine. I would have had a bit more opportunity to survey the country here and find a campsite. But as it happens, I found a great site, so not at all unhappy with that. I've got a nice flat ground, got pretty soft ground, looks pretty safe, got a nice fire, got a beer. Cheers. Fantastic. Have a look at the fire. It's crackling on nicely. I don't have a lot of water with me because I'm up on a ridge, and so I'm not going to burn it too hot tonight. And I'm definitely going to kick it out before, well, not kick it out, but make sure it is fully extinguished before I go to bed. There's a lot of forest litter here, and even though it's a little bit damp and it's quite cold, like it's going to get down to 3 degrees tonight, I'm just not going to take the chance. So yeah, making sure I'm keeping a really close eye on it. I've cleared a lot of the litter around. Very much enjoying its heat. That's what you saw then was as big as it's going to get. I'm going to cook some sausages. I've got some cracked pepper and Worcestershire sausages. These are really nice, so looking forward to that. I've got this little Expedition Research grill, which I found off Amazon. I think I have to use a postal forwarder to get it to Australia, but very cheap off Amazon. These are awesome. So I've got some coals set up. I've just raked underneath those 2 rocks there. Oh, she's hot. Alright, might start with 3. I will need to cook them all up tonight, but it's hot. Mashed potato with my sausages, so bangers and mash. It's going to be a bit of a classic. But this is just a little Cedar Summit collapsible cup, but it's really nifty because it has measurements on the side. So I know that I need 310 millilitres to rehydrate 1 cup of mashed potato. So that's 300. I'm just doing a touch more because I'm also going to chuck in some broccoli, some freeze-dried broccoli. Got to at least pretend to be healthy, right? Now, I don't want to talk about why one of those sausages looks a bit different than the other. You don't need to know what happened. Other than to say, if you're going to get one of these bushcraft grills, just be conscious that they're not the most stable things. And particularly with sausages being round, I'm sure you can join the dots. Alright. I figured turning the whole grill is probably the easiest way to go. Billy, sausages, fire, beer. Life's pretty good. I think it is dinner time. Get my spork. Alright, I'm going to call that done. It's a little bit runny, but it will do. So, a couple of sticks here that I can put the sausages on. I may have eaten one because I was getting hungry. I think I'm just going to put the sausages straight in the mashed potato. And now it's time to enjoy my bangers and mash. It's definitely beer number 2 time. So I've got another one from Modus Operandi, and these are one of the few companies in Australia doing craft beer in the 500ml cans. Really like these guys. They're super expensive, so I don't get them very often. But yeah, this one is going to be pretty strong. A little bit excited from the bike ride in. Ooh. Oh, that is a lot of things, and awesome is certainly one of them. All right, guys, I'm going to tuck into my dinner and drink a beer. But oh, the broccoli is good, guys. Highly recommend the freeze-dried broccoli. Well, as you can probably gather, I've decided to call it a night. There's not much has been happening around camp. I've heard a couple of kangaroos thumping about. They always make a really funny sound at night. There's this sort of unrhythmic thump that kind of goes crash at night. But yeah, there's a few birds and whatnot. But yeah, it's been good. There's been a bit of a breeze pickup, so it was pretty like amazingly still earlier in the night. Not a wisp of air, but there's a small breeze around. It's definitely getting cooler though. Yeah, feeling pretty fresh at the moment. So we'll see how we go. I've got extra clothes if I need it, so I'm not too worried about that. Got insulated sleeping bag and mat as well, and yeah, so no dramas. But getting pretty tired. Looking forward to a good night's sleep. All right, night, guys. Good morning. It's about 7 o'clock, I think. A little bit breezy, but yeah, the birds have been going nuts for the last, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, I guess. One of the joys of being in a forest, you get to hear all the different sounds. Yeah, it's been really nice. It's pretty cool. There's a little bit of smoke in the air. I think that's from some hazard reduction burning that's going on around the place, but yeah, nothing I'm too worried about at this stage. But yeah, oh, I think it must be coffee time. So but yeah, the sleeping bag's really warm, so I don't really want to get out just yet. So I might just kick back and just keep listening to the birds for a little bit. Yeah, it's nice to be in the that's my view out of the Tarp. Really nice bit of forest. So here's the setup during the day, so you can actually see where it is that I've pitched up. So yeah, like I said last night, new to this whole tarp camping thing, but yeah, slept alright last night. Nice spot. So I think it's coffee time, guys. Yep, definitely coffee time. I haven't got any other stove other than this. This is the Bush Buddy, made in Alaska. It's stainless steel, quite lightweight. I think it's less than, it's about 150 grams maybe. Really simple, 2 pieces. So I'm just going to get that on the go. I've collected a bunch of sticks and tinder that I can use, so that'll get me started. I am going to be using a Vietnamese coffee press, which I used to use quite a lot, and I've been using an AeroPress more regularly at home. But yeah, these things are great. It's basically just a metal cup. It's got holes down the bottom, and it's got a little filter that presses over the top of the coffee, and then a lid as well. So yeah, all right, I'm going to get my my fire started. So I'm just using some bracken fern as my tinder. Alrighty, so I've got a pretty decent fire going there. I might have to move the camera back. So I'm just going to put some water on. So it's got a little opening here that you can just feed some sticks in. Obviously, I want to be careful that not too many are going to fall out. I have just moved a few of the leaves away, which I should have done beforehand. That's pretty impressive, actually. Got a decent boil going within maybe 3 or 4 minutes. I haven't got much more than a cup of water in there, so you know it's not a lot of water, but it's a pretty decent boil. So this is unfiltered water, so I am going to just let it have a rolling boil for a while. But yeah, quite happy with the performance actually. It's been good. I'm just going to put a little bit of coffee in, maybe 2 decent spoons. the water's worked an absolute treat on the Bush Buddy stove. Really impressed that performance. So I'm just going to put my glove on. And so these little Vietnamese coffee filters are great. Anyone who's travelled through Southeast Asia would be probably familiar with them. But it's just going to do its thing now. So I haven't quite decided if I'm going to cook up any other breakfast. I might just have a trail bar and some dried fruit. The thing that'd be interesting to see is how long it takes for the coals to, I guess, cool down as well. So there's the Bush Buddy. That's about 2 minutes after I took the water off. So yeah, that's burning down really quickly. So I don't think residual heat and coals are going to be an issue. You can see the coffee is foggy. I should have known that was going to happen. You can see the coffee is doing its thing. It's filtering down. Oh, steaming hot coffee, love it. Cheers, guys. Oh, it's good. Yeah, this is a place called the Budawangs. It actually refers to quite a large area. When I first started getting back into bushwalking many years ago, the Budawangs is where it all started, and this is just a spectacular part of the world. I've always just been intrigued by this forest. It's just a beautiful, mature forest, and I understand there has been some logging here in the 50s and 60s, but it was selective logging, and so the forest is just superb. It's just beautiful, and it just goes to show that you can actually extract resources and not completely screw up the environment. So there's definitely a balance there to be had, but this is, yeah, stunning forest, and I've wanted to do this for a long time, so it's been nice to come out and just, yeah, spend a little bit of time in this amazing place. So it's double walled, and there's still some glowing embers in there, but you can pick it up, so that's good to know. And then just the top folds in. I'm not very far from Styles Plain and Styles Creek. It's a lovely area, and I just can't resist the temptation to go and have a look at the, it's basically a sort of an open swamp that's surrounded by, well, no, not really swamp, it can be a bit swampy, but it's more of a plain that's surrounded by these amazing rock formations, and I just can't resist going in to have a look. So I'm gonna pack up now, and I'm gonna head on down there, and then I'll obviously have to get out of here. But so I mentioned before that this area had been selectively logged back in the 50s and 60s, and here's a example of that. You can see the axe mark where they put the step in. Pretty decent sized tree, but the good thing is there are still lots of them left. Yeah, these trees are just huge. Really cool to see. You can just see Cootie's Mountain poking through the forest here. Yeah, this is awesome. It's very smoky today, but I've got about another, I don't know, 200 meters or so, and then I'll get down onto the plain proper. But yeah, this is one of my favourite parts of the world, so glad I can share it with you. You see this grass? It is really easy to trip yourself up on this stuff. It's very easy to kind of step on it and then kind of catch your foot on it. So yeah, you've got to be actually quite careful through here, otherwise you go over. Here's a better view of Cootie's Mountain. Actually, maybe those rocks I saw earlier were just a different part of the mountain. But yeah, what What an awesome, awesome part of the world. Guys, how awesome is this? This is just an amazing place. What you can see behind me there are known as Pagoda Rocks. They're actually on Mount Sturgis, but they've weathered in a really interesting way, and they resemble some Japanese pagodas, and that's why they've been named that way. At least that's my understanding. This is great to be here. I wish it was a little bit clearer. It's pretty smoky because of the hazard reduction burns that are going on around the place, but oh, just so good. Check this out. This is it's the tip of Cooties Mountain, named after the Cootie brothers, who were local graziers here back in the day. What do we got over here? I believe that is Hoodle's castle. Hoodle was a surveyor, and he was one of the first white men through here, I think. And over there, I forget the name of that one, but if you go, there's a trail that follows behind that rise, and that gets you into Monolith Valley and the classic Budawangs. It's just gone 9:15 in the morning. I've actually got to play ice hockey tonight, so I've got about a 3-hour trip out of here, and then probably at least another 2 hours in the car. So yeah, I've probably got to get a mosey on, but I'm just going to take a moment to just enjoy this awesome place. But yeah, hopefully if you live in this part of the world and you know, this isn't terribly difficult to get here, and there is unlike me, it is actually quite nice to follow a track, so it is reasonably accessible. It's about 15 k's from the car park, I think, and like you saw, I have a mountain bike, and that certainly makes it a bit easier on the trail, on the fire trail. But yeah, not particularly difficult walking. So a great way to get started if you're looking to get into this kind of thing. So this is the country I was looking for a camp first off last night. You can see it's nowhere near as open as where I was, and there's a lot of fallen timber, a lot of vegetation. So yeah, I did go off the track about 3 or 4 times on the way in, looking for a spot, and I couldn't find anything. So yeah, that's where I ended up where I was. So this is where I got water last night. It looks a bit different during the day. Nice little rainforest gully. You can see all the tree ferns growing on the sides. The remnants of an old bridge across a little stream. Normally this is a bit of a raging waterfall, but yeah, it's been so dry, there hasn't been much rainfall. So I'm not crossing the log, guys. That's just not a risk I need right now. Nice mossy. The water comes from over there normally. Lovely house-sized boulder, bigger than a house actually. Oh, nice. So I've been making pretty good progress. I'm just walking back into the vines, which is a really small but awesome patch of rainforest that I showed you guys on the way in. There you can see the edge of the rainforest. Just a small little patch. And now back into the more dry sclerophyll forest, which again is, even for this area, this is a small patch of forest. There's not a lot of it here. Well, this termite mound looks familiar. I've got the bike out of the bushes, and I think it's just gone 11 o'clock. So, you know, I've done pretty good progress. I think maybe an hour and 15 minutes from Styles Creek, so pretty happy with that. Oh, just walking up a rather steep bit. The saddle is all sorts of awful. Really hurting. I'm really struggling to find a comfortable position on the bike. Just can't quite find it today. It's making it very difficult. guys, it's been a bit of a tough slog. I'm almost back in the car. I've got one not insignificant little climb over this bridge. It's 12:15, so it's taking me just over an hour from when I jumped on the bike. Yeah, feeling really knackered, to be honest. There's the car. It's very exciting. Oh, I've just remembered I've got some beef jerky in my food bag, so first thing we're going to do is find that and eat all of it. Oh man, how good is beef jerky? So good. It's amazing, actually. If you have any questions or comments, yeah, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. But otherwise, yeah, this has been Erik on track for this week. Yeah, thanks again for watching. I'm done, guys. Catch you later. See ya.